This is day 132, and today we are looking at how to prepare a report. So previously we looked at how to get the data from an email, save it on a PC, clean it, and combine it. So if you have multiple sheets, how to combine them. And now we are looking at preparing a report. And to do that, we are going to use something that is called Power Pivot and a data model. So in this scenario, what we have is we have multiple Excel worksheets, but sometimes it becomes strenuous to go through all these worksheets, copy them, and clean them up and put them into one single report. So that's why we used Power Query to grab the data from all the multiple worksheets and put them into one worksheet so that you can only work with one worksheet instead of looking at all the multiple worksheets that you might have. So now we are going straight into looking at now how to take the data from your query. So we did a query where we saw how to clean up the data. Let me just quickly open the query window. So this is the query we did and we cleaned up the data. So if you didn't watch previous day's video, please go and watch and see how to clean up the data, and also watch a video in the Excel automation folder or Excel automation playlist where I talk about Power Query. So this is the Power Query window. Now that we have cleaned the data, we would want to load it now into a Power Pivot. So whilst you are in Power Query, what you can do is you can click the drop down arrow and click close and load to. So because I have already done that, mine is grayed out, but I can still show you. So you can say load to. So this window will pop up. Then you choose how you want to load. So because I want to load it into a data model, I want to load it in a data model. So I tick this one. Then here, I don't want to load it into my worksheet as it is. So I can just create a connection only. So this is the connection only, which is loading into a data model. So the 570 rows which you are seeing here as loaded, they are loaded into a data model, not onto my worksheet. So once I do that and I say, okay, the data goes to a data model. So to access the data model, you can either go through Power Pivot and you click on Manage, or under Data, you can see here Manage Data Model here. Either way, you go to the same screen. So if I click that, this window will come up. So these are all the queries that I have. So I only have one query. If I had multiple queries, I will also see different multiple queries. Here, there are a lot of things that you can do. The beauty of this is if you have, for example, a reference table, you can also use it to create connections. So you can link to say this column is linking to this other column, but I only have one data set, so I'm not going to go through the diagram view. You can also create a formula here, which is called a measure. So you can create a measure. So for example, you want to create a measure for chicken cells. You can actually do a sum column, but a sum if the product is chicken, then you can call it a measure. So you can use it in your workbook as well. But I'm not going to create measures. I will do a separate lesson where I show how to create one or two measures. So once your data is here, it becomes now easier to create a dashboard. You can now create a pivot table. You can create a pivot chart. You can create different pivot chart or flattened tables. So the advantage of using this functionality is that you will see here, I have, let me just move slightly my map. So my map is linking to this pivot table, right? So there is my pivot table behind this map. But I also have this sheet, which I can change the orientation, I can change the way the chart looks. I can change, like I have another chart which is also which has a different orientation to the sales per region, and I have this different chart. But with a pivot table, if I put a pivot chart with a normal ordinary pivot table, the problem would be that every time you change the orientation of this chart here, it would also change the orientation of my pivot table here and make it difficult for me to link my map to this pivot table. And also, as you can see, I have different filters which I want to be able to click and everything responds. So a Power Pivot chart does that so well, and it can make everything respond to my selections. So after I'm going to just add something in a different tab from my Power Pivot model to just show you how to create the charts. So if I go to Edit Model, then I just say I want to add a pivot table. Then I can say on New Worksheet. Okay, there is my pivot table. Then I can go on and select. So the moment you see this pivot table selection, if it has this cylinder, this orange cylinder next to it, then you know that it's coming from a data model. Then I can say, okay, what do I want to see? I want to see product category, and I want to see sales per unit. Also, something you can do with a pivot, a power pivot, is that you can also change it to formulas. So you can say convert to formulas. Then you can see now it's formulas, but it still responds to the change in your pivot table. So before I change to formula, let me just put a slicer. Let me add a slicer to my pivot table. I want to put a product category. I want to put a product slicer, for instance. Okay, let me now convert it to. Then as I click on the products, you can see that this is no longer a pivot table. So it makes it much more flexible. I can still use my slicers on this data. So for creating dashboard, this is a very, very powerful tool that you can use. All right, so this is how you can create a Power Pivot dashboard. So this is basically a Power Pivot dashboard, which I have done here. So now that we have prepared a report, tomorrow we are going to look at how to distribute that report either as a body of an email or as an attachment. Then finally, day after tomorrow, we'll look at how to create an on-time event and set schedule it so that it runs on a specific time to pick up your report and send it. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified when I upload new videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.